Good morning and welcome to a gray day in the great state of Kentucky. Those of you that went to the ACA with me will know that phrase. So we're launching on May 4th the official Zoom class for Unabashedly Resolute. Now some of you may be asking, again, what's so important about this class? Why are you doing this? In short, it's my life's work. Unabashedly Resolute Institute is not something that I cooked up last week. It's not something that I read a few books and was like, hey, this is a great idea. This is something that I have lived for at least the last 30 years. So if you've asked, has it been tested, Wes? Have your theories been tested? Yes. Under the most extreme circumstances that I can imagine for the last 30 years. Not only have they been tested by me, they've been tested by other individuals. As I have mentored people, as I have taught, and as I have spoken, as I've written essays in college, and as I have talked with great intellectuals, and as I've talked with other people on a more popular level, as I've just been in relationship with people, my marriage, my kids, my family, friends, strangers on the street, a random atheist in the hills of Norway having a conversation. This is not something that I take lightly. It's not something that I'm flippant about. I don't bring this information to you to say, this will help you crush everyone who doesn't believe what you believe. It's much scarier than that. What I'm offering you is something that actually probably should terrify you a little bit. But it's so terrifying that you realize that it's necessary and you're willing to go into the terror to be refined. This is what I'm offering. You see, Unabashedly Resolute Institute is not about, and I'm going to say UR Institute or URI from now on. It gets to be a mouthful. The name is very important, and we'll get to the name in a second. But UR Institute is very different from a lot of apologetics courses or a lot of philosophy courses in that we are not trying to pull apart the ideas of other people. See, in philosophy, you study ideas of those who have gone before you. And it's fantastic because you get to see almost what we see in modal logic as possible worlds. You get to see what other people believe, and you get to point out all of their flaws. Now, you accept some of these ideas, and then during the class sessions and during other things, during life even, we have this moment where you have this philosophy or you have this idea and you present it. It's not entirely yours, but you believe it, and so you present it as if it's yours. You're like, I believe this, and then somebody attacks it, and you're like, wait a second, why are you attacking what I believe? And so, we're ill-equipped. We're ill-equipped to fight this fight. And you say, why use violent rhetoric? Fight, fight, fight. Because it is a fight. It is a battle. Because inside your mind, inside the 6 pound, 6 inches of gray matter that's up there in your noggin, it is a fight. It is a battle. And that is the best way to talk about it. You see, I don't come to you in any amount of flippancy and say, Try it. Try my new tonic. It'll be the greatest thing you've ever had. No. Everything I'm telling you was earned. I've stood on the precipice. Trying to say that. Trying to think of the plural of precipi. No, I've stood on these precipices. Is that the right word? Let's make it singular. I've stood on the precipice of despair. The edge. How about the edge? I've stood on the edge of despair. I've been heartbroken. I've suffered grief. I've had loathing. I've had anger and bitterness and resentment that would swallow up people and send them spiraling into the deepest, darkest hole that they may never come out of. I've seen people suffer less and have far more devious and sinister futures from that. I'm not saying that I'm better than people. I'm not saying that I'm somehow superhuman. What I'm saying is I learned a few things along the way that helped pull me back from the edge. And that's what I'd like to offer to you. Unabashedly Resolute is an introspective look at beliefs. We're not going to deal with anyone's beliefs, truly, other than our own. We're going to do self-psychology. We're going to do critical thinking and textual criticism on our own belief systems. Because very few of us know what we actually believe about something. And less are comfortable with the idea of having the belief system that we think we have to be challenged. Because we don't know what will happen when it's challenged. So I'm offering you tools that have made my life better, that have given my life purpose and meaning, and again, have emboldened me and pulled me back from the ledge. So much so that when I get to a ledge now, I don't spend very much time. There's there's a ledge here. Yeah, I've gone the wrong direction. I've missed something. Every time I wind back up on a ledge, I'm going, all right. I've made a wrong turning somewhere. Let me backtrack and find out, what belief do I have? What thing am I holding on to that leads me to the ledge of despair? Because I shouldn't find myself here. And so that I begin to pull it apart and take it apart until I find the thing. That was the twist there. Okay, let's untwist that. Let's unknot that belief that I have. Let's find out what's actually true about this belief and then reinsert it. Find the bad code in the programming, get the bugs out, and then it works. But it functions so much better. What you find out though is when you get rid of one bug, you will actually see, there's another piece of code running incorrectly. I would have never seen that had I not taken care of the first bit of code that was incorrect. Now I see other ones are running incorrectly. And so what we have is you get to learn how to tear apart your beliefs without fear. You see, that's what unabashedly means. Unabashedly means without fear, without reservation, without trepidation. I am unabashed. I stand without shame or without fear of shame in my belief system. And resolute means to be resolved in a belief. And so I am unashamed in my resolve for my beliefs. And why? Because when you go through unabashedly resolute, what you're going to find out is when someone challenges you, you're not going to fall apart. You're not going to be afraid. You're not going to react in anger or violence. You're simply going to be able to articulate a response and defend your position. And if you find your position indefensible and the person actually brings up good arguments against your position, you will have the humility to accept the new information, to rewrite the code and put it back in the system. And you will thank that person. That's actually a biblical concept, that the righteous man actually longs for correction. The righteous man accepts correction. It's the fool who won't. We are trying to teach you how to be quote unquote righteous people. And when someone criticizes you, you're able to take their criticism and go, oh, let me see this. Here's the thing, guys. You are not your beliefs. You are not your beliefs. Your beliefs are a filter that you have in your mind that allows you to process information as it comes forward from the world or from yourself or from other people. And it can be altered, and it should be altered, so that you can have the optimal set of beliefs that bring you the most amount of flourishing and that mitigate the most amount of suffering. Doesn't mean you won't suffer. Doesn't mean that standing up for your beliefs won't put you in a gulag like Solzhenitsyn. What it means is when you're in the gulag, you will understand why you're there, and you will be able to find purpose and meaning, and you'll be able to survive the gulag instead of having a cognitive dissonance and not understanding why you're there. And actually, you can find joy in those moments. There were many people who went to the gas chambers with praises of Adonai or Yeshua on their lips, because their beliefs, they were unabashed in their resolve. They were unabashedly unashamed of their beliefs. And that means you can find joy. Nietzsche even said, if you can figure out the why, you can survive anyhow. I'm going to teach you how to find your why, how to make your beliefs robust, so that when someone does challenge, when life does challenge, when things do push against you, you can stand knowing that you have done the best you can, and that all you have to do is tweak things as you go along to increase and solidify your belief systems so that they become so robust that you build your house upon the rock, not on the shifting sands. And if you can do that, you can weather any storm that comes. My personal testimony is I have weathered so many storms. And why? Because of my beliefs. Not in spite of them, but because of my beliefs. My belief system has helped me. So that's what I'm offering to you. I'm offering to you a lifetime of work that has been both pulled apart by friends and family, which we know can be the most can be the most critical. I presented a lot of this academically. I've had conversations with some of the most brilliant people on the planet. And my ideas hold up. So I'm not bringing to you something flippantly. I'm not bringing something to you that's so heady and so academic that it can't be touched. What I'm offering is helping you reforge the tools of thinking. And once we have the correct tools, once you have the hammer the right weight, once you have the drill the right speed and the right voltage, once you have the sickle and once you have the plow and once you have all these tools, the hammers and the angles, once you have them correct, or at least more correct than they were, then you can dive into the world and see it more clearly and unearth things and discover things that previously were hidden from you because you had the wrong tools. So I hope you join me on May 4th. for the first official Zoom class. We have in-person classes as well. We have mentorships. We have workshops. I will come speak at whatever event you have. Go to my website and sign up, unabashedlyresolute.com. I have a book on Amazon, Unabashedly Resolute, The Chasm. It's a short read. It's actually, I think, 60 or 70 pages, and everything's double-spaced, which does kind of make it look like a child's book. I get that. That's a critique about it. I don't care. I wrote it double-spaced so that you could write in the margins, because I always love to write in the margins, and there's never really enough space in a book to write in the margins, to annotate. My book, there's plenty of room to annotate. That's why I did it. I may rewrite it and make it a little more streamlined for people who don't like to annotate. Tomato, tomato. But the first official Zoom class is May 4th. It will be at 7 p.m. on every Tuesday for 6 weeks. We go through the process of repairing your mind. Then we look at reforging the tools. Then we look at rethinking thinking, recalibrating your belief system, and then reintroducing yourself into the world. Some kind of 6 re's there that formulate a progression of learning. So we look at the mind. We look at philosophy, psychology, history, sociology, theology, literature. Because I will tell you, here's what I found out. I have tested my belief systems in every knowledge base, wherein we understand and manipulate what we call reality. For the last several thousand years, I have put my belief system up against science, philosophy, psychology, theology, literature, history, sociology. I've put my belief system and I've ran it through several simulations of even those things that I disagree with. And what I found is the core things that I believe, the core fundamental, the core principles that I teach, they always seem to effervesce to the top, no matter what discipline I'm studying. That truth seems to rise, and that's why I've latched onto it, and I call it truth, because in science, this thing rose to the top, and I'm like, oh, I'm taking that. Yeah, literature, this thing rises to the top, I'm taking that. And so what you find is, when you have a set of principles that rise to the top of every knowledge discipline by where we understand reality, you're going to be on very, very solid ground. So join me May 4th, 7 p.m. on Zoom. If you can't make that, you're like, Wes, I really want to learn these principles. I really want to meet you and talk to you. DM me, email me, j.wesleymullins@protonmail.com, and we can talk and set up something. If you want to host a class, you're like, my friends would love this. This sounds like right up our alley. Man, we'd love. Even if you just want to challenge me, like, man, I will pay for you to come, Wes, and just so I can challenge you and try to pick it apart. That would be amazing. So if you want to get a group together of people who disagree with me and come and say, let's have a question and answer period where we're just going to try to pull apart everything that Wes said, that would be fantastic. As long as you pay for the course, you are more than open to take the course from me and then rip it apart. That would be fantastic, because here's what I found. If you can tear apart something that I'm talking about and give me something better that is more sustainable and more defensible and actually more robust, then I want that. I don't want the thing that I have. I don't want to believe something just because I believe it. I don't think my thoughts are amazing because I believe it. I think the principles that I teach are good and solid and necessary, because they're the most solid things I have ever come across. And they work in every sphere where I apply them. If you can find me something better, I will look at it. If it's better than mine, I will accept it and put it in place. Because I'm not afraid of being wrong. I'm not afraid of saying I don't know. I'm not afraid of ideas. So go to the website, sign up, DM me on Instagram at Wes Mullins or at Unabashedly Resolute. Find me on Facebook, Wes Mullins or Unabashedly Resolute. Message me and say, hey, I want to set up a class, or Wes, what about a workshop? Or hey, man, I'd like to be mentored. Can you just mentor me? Those are all available. I can send you out pricing lists, and I can send you out more information, and we can get this ball rolling. And within the next year, your life could radically change, and you could become more resolved. You could become stronger and have deeper roots in what you believe. You could actually become unabashedly resolute. You guys have a great day.